So the purpose of my study was to use the token economy reinforcement in order to increase the frequency of appropriate joining conversation statements while simultaneously decreasing the latency of time needed to fulfill a meaningful target number of conversational exchanges. So my participant will be referred to as Mark. He is a 10-year-old boy diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. The target behavior is making an appropriate joining statement will be defined as the occurrence of a substantial comment or question that is relevant to or an appropriate transition away from the current topic of conversation, made within 10 seconds and is directed at an individual or individuals with whom was speaking to the group or not speaking directly to Mark. An ABAB reversal design was implemented. Frequency data was taken on the number of appropriate joining statements, and latency data was taken on the amount of time needed for Mark to make 7 appropriate joining statements. Total count IOA and total duration IOA were taken from video recordings during all conditions. During baseline, Mark was informed that he was going to have a conversation. Setting co-participants and conversational topics varied. A timer was set for 10 minutes and co-participants were directed to engage and sustain conversation. All appropriate statements were redirected and appropriate statements were reinforced with response. Treatment was applied for 5 sessions in which the token reinforcement was then applied. Treatment was applied for 10 sessions following the 5-session baseline. Mark was given a social story during treatment phase explaining the contingencies of the intervention. He was allowed to pick from his reinforcer list before the conversation started. The timer was set and conversation was initiated with any appropriate statement made by any participant. Continuous reinforcement was used with response to appropriate joining statements, and 1 token was awarded immediately following each occurrence. Conversations were recorded for IOA data. So frequency of joining conversations made during the 10-minute conversational period during baseline included 5.5 joining statements that ranged from 4 to 6. During the baseline sessions, Mark did not demonstrate the target number of responses, 7 of 7. Therefore, the average latency for the baseline condition was recorded as 10 minutes. Latency to demonstrate 7 appropriate statements can be seen in not this graph. During the treatment phase, when the token economy was introduced, Mark made an average of 10.3 joining statements. In addition, the latency time to make his target goal reduced to 6.63 minutes. During return to baseline condition, the token economy was removed and Mark averaged 10.1 joining statements, and latency was reported as 6.4. The final treatment condition reapplied the token economy and reported an average of 12.8 joining statements and a latency of 5.3 minutes. So both treatment conditions reported higher frequencies of joining statements and lower latencies to demonstrate the target goal when compared to both baseline conditions. Limitations include a lack of a functional relation. A functional relationship was not demonstrated because either the skill was learned too quickly or the token economy simply didn't attribute to a functional relation. In addition, the nature of co-participants was limited to the availability within the client's home. Our ability to determine generalization was also limited. Although results did not present a functional relation, parents did report maintenance and generalization of the skill across multiple people and settings.